Should you get your Cane Corso's tail docked? This is quite a hot question, as we'll see. In this video, we'll look at why Cane Corso tails are docked and see whether those reasons give you enough to make a valid decision to dock or not to dock. Hi, I'm Robert from CaneCorsoDogOwner.com. Why are Cane Corso tails docked? The tails of Cane Corsos are traditionally docked because it's believed that having a tail gets in the way when they're working. This concept probably dates back to when the Cane Corso's duties included defending livestock and humans on Italian farms, fighting off and hunting large dangerous prey. For a dog in these circumstances, docking the tail probably makes sense. But is your Cane Corso a working dog? The big majority of Cane Corsos today are not in these circumstances. They're living an entirely softer life as a family dog. For this, the largest group of Cane Corsos, the old validations for docking the tail no longer apply. Truth be told, I think the biggest reason for tail docking today is purely aesthetic. Many people think that a Cane Corso with a docked tail is a look they find pleasing. What is tail docking? Tail docking is a procedure where the dog's tail is surgically shortened, typically by about 2/3 of its length. The procedure is most commonly performed on puppies, usually at around 7 to 10 days old. The practice of docking tails is an old one. Change comes slowly, and it's still common in some parts of the world. There is a number of methods that can be used to dock a tail, but the most common is to simply cut it off with scissors. Do you have to dock a Cane Corso tail? There's no legal requirement to dock a Cane Corso's tail. As far as I know, the AKC breed standard used to require the tail to be docked at the 4th vertebrae to 1/3 the overall length, but the current Cane Corso breed standard definitions allow for both a docked tail and a natural tail, so there is no requirement there either. It comes down to the preferences of the individual dog owner. Some people choose to dock their Cane Corso's tail, others just don't want to do it. Advocates for the practice of docking tails say there are pros and cons to both options. They say docking a Cane Corso's tail can prevent them from being injured if they get into a tussle with another animal. But nature put the tail there for a reason, several good reasons actually. The tail is a big part of a dog's balancing mechanism. Ever seen greyhounds running flat out? It can make any dog more susceptible to injury if they do not have their tail to help them balance. The dog's tail is also a huge part of its communication system. Even us humans can plainly see when a dog is happy or sad or scared, according to what the tail is doing. Don't you think other dogs can interpret that with 1,000 times more sensitivity? Removing the tail or cutting it back to a stump takes away all that communication from the dog. Opponents of tail docking say there are no pros, only cons. The average Cane Corso will be a family dog, and he's just not at risk from enemies grabbing his tail. Ultimately, the decision whether or not to dock a Cane Corso's tail is up to the owner. Some people dock their Cane Corso's tail because they believe it's a tradition in the breed, while others do it for cosmetic reasons. Is it cruel to dock a dog's tail? There's much debate over whether or not it's cruel to dock a dog's tail. Proponents of docking argue that the procedure is painless and that it is performed for the benefit of the dog. They say that dogs with docked tails are less likely to suffer from injuries and are also less likely to be targeted by other animals. Opponents of docking argue that the procedure is painful and that it is actually performed for the benefit of humans, not dogs. They say that dogs with docked tails are more likely to suffer from injuries and are also more likely to suffer from medical conditions such as spinal cord injuries. Is tail docking painful to Cane Corso puppies? Who knows? None of us has ever had our tail docked. Proponents of the practice claim that it's painless, but how do they know? What I know is that I don't want somebody cutting several joints off any of my extremities, and I'm pretty sure there must be pain involved at some point. So that's a quick run through on the process of docking Cane Corso tails, the pros and the cons. See you in the next video. Click on the thumbnail on screen now, or click on the link below in the description. Bye for now.